Hi. Hi. How's everyone doing? I'm not well. I made it to this week. Oh, hold on. Let me close Thunderbird before it makes a noise. Hi. Hello, Ish. How you doing? How's things? How has your week been? I've been busy. Dying. uh, um, Week's been blessedly short. Good, I think. Seems weird to say that it's good that time has passed for you quicker than usual. But good. Did I perish this week yet? Well, not quite, but kind of feels like I'm closer. Um, Hello, John. How you doing? I am still here. Just I'm probably going back to hospital probably tomorrow. Yeah. Um, I have I have I'm dizzy, lightheaded, and until I took my inhaler, quite short of breath. Now, the problem is that I've had those exact symptoms before, and I didn't die from them, so that probably means I'm gonna not die now, right? Also, the whole bloodletting hasn't gotten any better, arguably slightly worse. Not like catastrophically worse, but not good. But yeah, I'm probably going back to hospital. Hello, Simon. Yes. You weren't here for last week's stream, which would give you the context for this week's predicament. But a doctor told me I might die last week. Um, and uh, and then I was taken to the surgical department, the surgical wing of the same day emergency care at one of my local hospitals, where I was examined and then basically told, well, we're kind of busy and your blood test shows that you aren't dying yet, so come back when you are. So yeah, I'm doing great. Hello, Agent B, and hello to our Australian Simon. How you doing? How's things? Um, it is kind of serious. Yeah, it is the second time that a doctor's told me I might die though. So that's not a good thing, is it? Oh dear. Yeah. And yeah, today, especially this afternoon, um, I've I have all of the symptoms that say I've had enough blood loss for it to be a problem. Um, so yeah, I'm probably like the same day emergency care wing, I think, is closed or is closing pretty soon. So I'll be calling them tomorrow, depending on how I feel. Ish, random question: does Gmail demand a mobile number, or can just having other emails work still? I it's been a while since I've tried to create another Gmail account, but I seem to remember their requirements are a bit stricter these days. So I think mobile number is a requirement. So why are you on here not getting help? Well, one, uh, the problem is that I've had all of these symptoms before, and I don't know why I had these symptoms. Well, when I say these symptoms, lightheadedness, dizziness, and sort of tight-chested, shorter breath, I actually kind of collapsed from all of those symptoms. I don't know, like 6 months ago now. I went to the doctors and they said, maybe you're just tired for. In a 5 minute session, that the doctor said maybe you're just tired 4 times. I don't know why being tired would make you collapse, but okay. So yeah, the the big problem is that I don't know. I can't differentiate why I'm having the symptoms. And yeah. Also, the same day emergency care unit is closed, so I'd only be going into hospital to lie in an uncomfortable bed and not be seen to until the morning. So yeah. The last time I was admitted to hospital and a doctor told me that I might die, they put the IV in my arm wrong. So see the blood from well, bruise from another blood taken. My whole arm swelled up massively from IV paracetamol, and then the nurse didn't come for half an hour, so I threw up in the bed. And then they just took the IV out, and when I woke up in the morning, my whole arm was bruised, like the whole from my wrist all the way up to my shoulder was bruised. And yeah, I was just cold and scared and alone. So yeah, if I need to spend the night in a hospital, I'd rather. But I'd rather spend the night at home with my loving wife, who can and does take very good care of me, and then go in the morning, rather than be ignored. So yeah. I have an existing one, but it's not letting me add it to another device. Rip spam account, I guess. That's a shame. That's crap. Personally, I hate doctors and hospitals, but they saved my life once and saved my vision, so I can't be that hard on them. I don't hate the doctors. I hate the system that they are thrust into. Because so the problem when I went to the same day emergency care department last Wednesday, I think it was. Because it was my GP who had like referred me to them, I got sort of priority treatment, as it were. So I just turned up. My name was handwritten in their book. I was seen to by the nurse, and my blood's taken within 10 minutes of being in the waiting room. And then I saw a doctor maybe 20 minutes later. And then she went away to talk to the like surgical resident or whatever, to see what they could do that day, and it came back like 45 minutes later and said, uh, basically because I'm not like visibly dying, they can't like rush me in for an emergency colonoscopy to find out what's going wrong, possibly even fix it, and then like send me home. So I just need to like hope that it goes away. The problem is that the system we have currently only incentivizes emergency treatment. So if I was dying, they would have seen to me immediately. They would have, rushed me into an operating theater and done whatever they needed to do and saved my life, and I could not be any more grateful. The problem is that if you're anything less than actively dying, there's no space, like there's no room for you to be there. The waiting room that I was in was so full that they had to ask the like family members to stand outside because there were so many patients there that couldn't even get a seat because there was just so many people there. So I mean the main thing is it's just severely underfunded. And I really wish that it wasn't. But yeah, I absolutely hold no animosity for the doctors that are doing their absolute best to literally save people's lives. It's the system that's around them that doesn't allow them to do that as effectively as they could. Oh, hope I'm okay. No, I'm kind of worse. Matt, IMAP on my phone won't work, so I can't use email on it. Can you help? What phone, what mail client, and what email provider? I had 2 spells of intense dizziness and nausea in the last 2 weeks. Not fun. Fortunately, both times only lasted a day. Probably old blood pressure issue. Need to move more and eat stuff, I guess. Fair. Well, I hope you can have it checked out. It's the same as my wife used to say when she had to stay in. She hated it. Yeah. And like, I have ADHD. I can't sit still. Can you imagine being like tied to a hospital bed? I mean, not literally, unless you display your insanity. Sort of confined to a hostel bed in a shared wing in a shared ward. Wearing uncomfortable, like open back gowns, and limited access to all of the stuff. Yeah, not enjoyable. John, I wasn't dizzy when I went last time. Yeah. Anyway, in other news, assuming that I survive the next few weeks, I'm planning on making a sort of like lighting rig type thing for the studio upstairs. Because this is like rented accommodation, I can't just like drill into the walls and stuff. I mean, I could, but I'd have to fix it. So what I'm planning on doing is I've just had a Wix open up literally within walking distance. So like hardware store for those non Brits. And so my plan is to go and get their 3-meter spars to build a essentially like lighting rig type thing above the set. And I actually just bought these small rig clamps. To be able to clamp them to the wood and then attach the lights that I use to them so that I can not have to use floor-based stands, which are kind of annoying. They get in the way. They get in the way of the door as well. And so, yeah. Walking distance on a current condition. No, I can barely leave the house. For a multitude of reasons. I mean, at the very current condition, I can barely walk to the kitchen. But good joke. So yeah, I was hoping to do that this weekend. Kind of seems like I might be in hospital this weekend. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm thinking of doing a video on it, because why not? And yeah, fun. The other thing that I've been doing this week, besides benchmarking graphics cards actually, is I have an itch to make a slightly different response time tool, specifically one with a kind of a like professional grade, as in like more lab grade type one. Specifically because the response time tool, as I've designed it, you know, the new Pro CS model, etc., works great. It's obviously a great tool. I wouldn't be selling it if I didn't think that, and I still use it. In fact, actually, here's one I made earlier. It managed to get tangled in a wire. This is the new Pro CS with 6 photodiodes. But the thing is that this is a great tool. It's still kind of hobbyist, I suppose. And so I was looking around for what, like, if a manufacturer is gonna buy some stuff to be able to test and like develop monitors, you know, like the overdrive profiles and stuff, what tools would they use? And the general answer is a photo detector. So something like the Thorlabs DT10A2, I think is the newest one. I say newest, it's like 2018. And you know, fancy oscilloscope. But realistically, a fancy oscilloscope is just an analog to digital converter, and that DT10A2 photo detector module thing is really only just a photodiode with a 12-volt battery. So I bought one of the photodiodes. So this, come on, focus. This rather cool thing is a Thorlabs photodiode on its own that I've been just doing a bit of testing on. And it actually turns out that photodiode you can buy not only like a nice photodiode like that, but you can buy a National Institute of Standards and Technology traceable calibrated version of that photodiode. Now, admittedly, just that traceable calibrated diode is 150 quid. So it's a lot. But that's pretty good. It's pretty handy. And so I'm thinking of making one a tool with that photodiode, a dedicated analog to digital converter, and slightly faster microcontroller. Yeah. Hello, Haxo. Oh, and Harry. How you doing, man? How's things? Wasn't expecting you. How you doing? Thank you very much. Labs pay a lot for kit though, so should still be money in it. Yes, that was my hope. That was that. Harry's been playing some Formula 1 2023. Nice. Are you playing as Max? Because I assume that's the only way you can win in that one. And sorry, Ryzen, I was regaling a story, so wasn't paying too close attention to chat. Is it the right time to look for a 5G phone yet? Well, it depends on your use case. It's like, I don't have a 5G phone, but I don't leave the house. So yeah, if you do, and especially if you're in a place that has good coverage, then it might be more worth it. Doing a My Team playthrough. Nice. Fair play. My lad has just bought a G923 for F1 2023. Nice. I would definitely. So I have a G923 Logitech sent me it ages ago, and they upgraded the brake pedal spring for the 923 because the 920 and G29 had really like pretty weak springs. The 923 they put a much heftier one in. The problem is that the leverage really doesn't make it a usable thing, especially without carpeted floors. So I would definitely recommend either using it on carpet, attaching it to some sort of rig itself, or honestly, what I ended up doing for most of the games is that I just mapped the brake pedal to the clutch, which gives you a bit more space anyway. And if you do want to use the clutch, I just stamp on the brake pedal, and you know, if I want to use the clutch, it's only because I'm drifting in Assetto Corsa anyway. So it's on carpet against the wall. That's probably not too bad then. Although I did find with that brake pedal that it like lifts the front up as well. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, I know that Harry, our Darker X2, has a very nice wheel. Very nice wheel. Oh, and Haxel does as well. I have a Fanatec set up attached to a folding race seats. See, these guys race. I would. I'm definitely envious. That's something that I would like to have, although I don't have the space, especially because the only space that I might have been able to use that for. I bought an electric drum kit. So yeah, I need another house. I don't have the room, and I can't take another till I am from the wife. Yeah. How much more accurate is the photodiode compared to the unit you make? So both of them are pretty linear. I specifically picked the, in this case, the VBPW 34SR for OSRCT Pro because it is a very linear diode, and I specifically went for multiples of them in parallel because that doesn't change the rise time, but it does give you more current. which then means that the noise floor is generally better. However, with the Thorlabs one, the noise floor is just a lot lower. It's very similar, but the less noise you have, and especially because I'm planning on you know, doing it sort of as right as possible. I still did it right here, but better there. It should be a decent bit more accurate, or more sensitive, I think is probably the right word to use. Which especially for what do you call it? Come on, brain. Nope, brain's gone. For the darker areas, for like RGB 0 to 51, that kind of thing, that's potentially going to be more useful. And like I said, my aim is to make it more for the like professional like monitor development rather than monitor testing, because OSRTT is perfectly capable for monitor testing, and I will continue to use the standard or ProCS OSRTT instead of the new one, as it were, the expert, if you might call it that. But yeah. Yeah, one day when we have our own place, Millie said I'm allowed a proper racing rig in my office space. Until then, it's just desk mount and twisting of chair wheels and hoping the carpet grips when pushing the load cell brake. Yeah, fair. I'm actually on a protective mat because I'm on unsecured lino flooring. So if I'm on my race wheel and I push the pedal, it just which is why I swapped to the less powerful brake pedal on the G923. Well, I said less powerful. I mean the clutch pedal. I have wood flooring. I had to get the seat. Yeah, me. Well, I don't have wood flooring, but I would need a seat to do it with any veracity. I've had that happen. Not ideal. I'm trying to corner. Plus, my glass desk can attach to the wheel very well. Oh no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be racing real hard and you hit the end stop and then the entire desk crashes. Hello, Joe. How you doing, man? How's things? I've been tackling the electrics upgrade for the workshop. Haven't fried myself yet. How are you doing this week, buddy? Any news? So I'm probably going back to hospital probably in the next day or two. I have, especially today, had some bad signs. It hasn't. The problem hasn't gotten any better, and yeah, I was lightheaded, dizzy, and like tight chest, shortness of breath, which are all of the symptoms of anemia or blood loss. Yay! So yeah. Woo. Reason why, if there's only a 5% difference in the end, that can be margin of error. There is very much a lot of margin for error in response time testing, as I have well found out. But yeah, my hope is that the sort of newer design, as it were, at very least has significantly less noise, and ideally a bit better what do you call it, like sensitivity in the low light stuff. I hope I'm feeling better soon too, Harry. I really do. Yeah, I'm depending on how I'm feeling, I'm probably going back to hospital tomorrow, and I we'll see how I'm doing. I'll actually probably check my blood oxygen content. That keeps going down. Hmm. So the number on the left is the oxygen. The number on the right is pulse. It's light based, and the light is drowning it out. It should be 99. It's regularly 95. 97 is actually pretty good, although I took my inhaler an hour or two ago, so it's probably still working its magic. He's not dead yet. Yeah, I'm still here. Oh dear, what am I gonna do? Actually, so the thing that I have been doing this week besides dying is I've been testing an RX 7600 XT, which I wasn't paying attention when that card launched, because it turns out that the 7600 XT is just the 7600, but with 16 gigabytes of VRAM and a slightly higher power budget. Like, the core itself is the exact same core. They both have 128-bit memory bus. They both have 2048 stream processors. They both have 64 AI accelerators and 64 ray tracing, or 32 ray tracing units, and 64 ROPS. 128 texture units. Like, it's all the same. It's the exact same core. It's called Hot Pink Bonefish. Hot Pink Bonefish. Now, if that's not a random name generator ass name, I don't know what is. But yeah, they it's the same cars. The only difference, besides the 16 gigabytes of RAM versus 8, is that the 7600 XT gets a slightly higher power budget. So the two cards that I've been testing, one of them is was running at about 170 watts, where the 7600 was about 170 watts of total board power. Software reported, so probably more like 180, give or take. Whereas the XT was drawing more like 200. That's not a big difference, though. So yeah. Thanks. But let's see. One of the interesting things about having essentially the exact same core but with different VRAM amounts is that you can test how the VRAM affects things. And so that's what I spent most of today benchmarking and looking at the data for. If I don't end up in hospital tomorrow, that video will be out on Monday. If I do, well, we'll see once I get out. So yeah. Hot pink bonefish. I think I killed that guy on Fortnite. Probably did. Yeah. What would we all do on Thursday evenings if you went? It'd be like 30 to 40 blokes just randomly staring at the window for an hour. Commence sad movie rain music. And oh no, it's my eye that's failed. Right. That was another thing. I woke up yesterday with my my eye in absolute agony from disassembling itself again. I'm not well. You're feeling poorly, and I'm here dad jokeless, tired and useless. I grabbed the only white t-shirt I have and I'm wearing that to empathize. Hey, at least it's white this time. And Joe said, keeping everything crossed for you, dude, to keep us updated. Keep yourself safe and try to put your health first. I know work is a priority, but your health is more important. Oh no, I agree. It's my living is more important than putting a video out, obviously. It's more just it's hard to know for me what symptoms are related to what condition, and therefore how what best to do to act upon them. So yeah, we'll see how things go. I don't know what other tech news has happened this week. I know that Sam Bankman-Fried was sentenced to 25 years in prison. I assume with parole. Today. No worries, Harry. Catch you later. Which is kind of crazy because, you know, if you like robbed someone's house, like you're going to prison for a long time. If you rob millions of people out of billions of dollars, apparently that's fine. Nice. Nice-ish. See, John, we have the dad jokes. Ish has us covered. You get a seat in Parliament, at least here. Oh dear. That's called the government. Yep. Oh dear. The other symptom I have is a headache, so I apologize for my low energy and low literacy. Oh dear. Genuinely can't think of anything else that's happened this week. Which is part of the problem. Besides me being ill and my clamps that I'm fidgeting with and a photodiode 7600 XT. Yeah. Actually, it just occurred to me, BenQ make projectors as well as monitors, and legitimately, like, over 6 months ago, they offered me a projector to review. And it was like supposedly a gaming projector, and I was kind of excited to try out the response time tool on it and see if I could even make it work, you know, stuff like that. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll take it, you know, well, like, when can you get it to me? And they replied like, oh, we don't know. I'll get back to you when I can. Like, when I have one. I was like, okay, it's kind of strange that you offered me a projector and then said, oh no, sorry, we don't have a projector to give you. But okay, fine. That happens. They're just, like, getting, getting it, like, what you call it? Like, building up their list, you know, they'll be back in a week or two, it's fine. So 6 months later, I get an email saying, hi, we finally have a projector to give you. I think that was at like 6 PM as well, so I'm yet to reply. I will accept it, but also, like, the projector's almost a year old at this point. Like, what's the point in reviewing it? So yeah, I'll have a projector in a bit. A mate has like 2 or 3 projectors stacked on top of each other with projections overlapping for awesome color depth. Ooh, that's interesting. I've never thought about that. Like, I never thought about doing that. Like, I can only imagine that that's a pain in the ass and kind of expensive, and you have to have the space for it, which I definitely don't. But that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. The only downside of having two projectors is that the biggest problem with projectors is that they can't ever be black. Like you can never get those, the deep blacks of an OLED because it's just a little light bulb shining light through a transparent liquid crystal frame, and so there's always going to be some light leaking around and whatnot. So having multiple projectors only makes that problem a lot worse. But I mean, that's still pretty cool. Not much in tech this week, but should have some stuff in a few weeks coming through on the monitor front. I assume OLEDs? Have I been told that? I might have been told that. I don't remember, and I don't remember by who, so it can't be a secret. I mean, there's a problem with the Brits in the US. Yes, that's not really tech news though. And if it's not something that I'm like wise, might talk about that because it's directly affecting me. Otherwise, not quite. This might have been a week or two ago, but apparently Apple cancelled the self-driving car project to work on AI stuff, which is kind of funny. I think they supposedly or reportedly they spent $10 billion, which, like, wasn't Apple's revenue like $100 billion last year or something ridiculous? I can't remember exactly, but like $10 billion over 10 years or whatever, like that's nothing to Apple, which is insane, but yes. I've got a Pixel 34-inch monitor in for review. Looks good, nice and cheap. IPS panel seems to be pretty decent for the price point. 1 millisecond, 165 hertz. Well, I can guarantee it's not 1 millisecond. No, I can guarantee that. Like, unless it's an OLED, I can guarantee you it's not a 1 millisecond panel. But yeah. I have my Barco 801 data with a Perugia line doubler that's 1 meter long. That's a 1 meter long unit with 3 9-inch RGB tubes that can produce 300 degrees. 300. I can't read inches. The screen looks great. I mean, nice. Most of that didn't make sense to me. But nice. Sorry, my glasses are a bit I could game on my LED video wall, 5 meters by 3 meters in the garden. It's a lot of effort to rig. What's the refresh rate on those? Because, like, obviously it's like the actual LEDs themselves have rise times and fall times in nanoseconds, but the what you call it? Come on, Brian. The controllers are normally the limiting factor. Yes, it is 1 millisecond. Just turn on the nauseating backlight strobing thing that we paid the YouTubers to say is great. Yeah, I think you would have to pay me quite a lot of money to say that a backlight strobing mode is good. I might say that it's there and that you can use it if you want to, but no. I'm not convinced. I don't have the facilities to confirm it until I order one of your kits in the near future. but I'll be saying that they claim 1 milliseconds. Here's the cheat version. Your phone likely has a high-speed camera mode. Ideally, it'd have a 960 FPS mode. Even if it has 500 or 240, it's still enough to have an idea. Use a go to aperture grill. That's what you call it? Grill as in GRILLE. And download his amazing Frog Pursuit program. I think it's called Smooth Frog. Set that up so that the frogs are going across the screen, ideally at a reasonably fast rate. If it's an ultra wide, probably 12 pixels per frame. And then with your phone in high speed mode, ideally fairly close so that you can see the actual frogs themselves. Record at the highest frame rate that your phone will do, and then you can import that footage into Premiere or DaVinci or whatever you use and count the frames. And you can get at least a rough idea of what the response time is by how long it takes for a frame to disappear. That's the kind of cheat basic version, but also the visual way to display it for the review as well. So yeah, that's what I would do, so that you can at least get an idea. Hello, Yanazig. How you doing, man? How's things? How's down under? That was terrible. I'm so sorry. How's things? Simon was saying, it's around 1980 hertz. The one we have, the new one's around 3860. Damn. Although the scalar input is 60 though. That's kind of what I was expecting. Because like OLEDs themselves, like an OLED panel can do well more than the refresh rate that most monitors come with. Even the like 360 hertz ones, like the actual panel itself can change its brightness in half a millisecond. So yeah, it's really only the scaler, the controller that takes the display port or HDMI or VGA signal in and run it out to the panel itself. That's normally the limitation, and it looks like that's the same here. I mean, it makes sense. Why would you put a 1000 hertz scaler on a video display that I assume is displaying at most, product videos? Well, if I can only count frames at console speeds like 30 hertz before I lose count? That's why you cut the frames in Premiere and let Premiere count the number of frames for you. It's 5000 nits though. Damn. That's good. Again, if it's going to be outside, it kind of has to be. It all makes sense. It's just all a bit out of my my league. That's the beauty of my reviews. I don't get paid to, so I say it as it is, even if they don't like me saying it. Good. That's what a review should be. That shouldn't be a controversial thought. I've had companies try and bribe me for my back. Several times. Yeah. Companies, yeah. If you say things that they don't like to hear, you say them in a way that they don't like to hear it, lots of things like that, then yeah, it doesn't go over very well. saying I've gone native. Andy, all good here. Bought a house out in the countryside last week, and otherwise busy. You bought a house? Congrats. I thought you were that was a sort of more temporary thing, but wonderful. Enjoy. Well, at least it's a holiday today. Good Friday, and yeah, stream starts at 7, but we'll soon be back to 5 a.m. I think it's this weekend, isn't it? Box change. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this Sunday. Oh well, sorry, can't help it. Don't know if it's just me, not by much, but I find MX6 worse than MX4. I don't think I've had MX6 yet. I've had MX4 and 5. I still use 4, I think. Wait, do I have MX6? No, I think it's 4. Yeah, because 5 was green and 4. Oh, come on, Andy. We know you all love your beautiful tiny star. Some may even say microstar. Yeah, and it's very international. Yeah. Clarkson, no issues expressing his opinions. I mean, he did though. Like, obviously, he still made the opinions, but like, car companies weren't often overly happy that he was voicing them. And you know, as the example, Tesla, I think, sued the BBC, if not at very least banned Top Gear from ever having Teslas on. When, admittedly, they were taking the piss, but like, yeah, there were consequences for there was consequences for him sharing his opinions, especially in often the way he shared his opinions. And yeah, it also very much like it depends on the size of the outlet, right? Because you know, if Top Gear wasn't the most watched TV program in the world at that point, you know, him being a bit more himself might have been a bigger problem. So yeah. Wow. I mean, that's a pretty decent value, especially in Australian dollars. Damn. Amazing. Nice. Congrats. Damn, that flying gig must have really paid well. I mean, with 15 hectares, are you starting a farm? I can't even. It's funny because your frame of reference is so different. In you know, I imagine, as you say, in the countryside of Australia, you know, Australia's a massive place with relatively few people in it, and I appreciate that a lot of it is kind of inhospitable. So you know, yeah, but you know, compared to Britain, I can't imagine there is even 15 hectares of single ownership that isn't purely a farm, like isn't purely commercial space, you know, and quite possibly agriculture too. Let alone just with having 2 farms on it. It does pay well, shockingly much more, and much more than chemistry in Norway ever did. So, are you planning on staying there? I guess long term then, right? Is the flying gig an open ended position? Because that's crazy. Really cool. I think Tesla tried to sue him personally. That sounds about right, yeah. But again, there was consequences for his actions, or for him expressing those opinions, in one form or another. So yeah. At the current rate, I'm probably gonna go. I think I'm gonna call first, see what they want me to do. But realistically, they're gonna say, "Please come here now, so we can take your blood and see what else is you know on the cards." Um, so yeah. Um, okay, my holiday house land is now worth 2 million, and that's 3 hours away from Melbourne, and it's not on the beach. Okay, it is on a lake. Damn, nice for some. My auntie and uncle have 580 acres of land in the countryside, but they own the biggest hunting clubs and companies in the UK. They're multi millionaires. Not sure what their land is worth. Probably a lot. Yeah, yeah, probably a lot. I was looking, not in any purchasing capacity, but uh, I was looking just to see how much land costs, especially in Scotland, because there's a lot fewer people up there, and it's there's a lot more space, um, and yeah, still quite a lot. You're still talking like hundreds of thousands for anything with like usable space. Do you think I should invest in 16 gig more of DDR4 3200, or just be content with 20 Chrome tabs instead of 80? Planning to keep the 8700K when 10 platform for 2 years more at least. So, do you have 16 gigs now? Because if you have 16 gigs now, I would say yes. 16 gigs is on the lower side for gaming and stuff right now. Yeah. I paid 102,000 for it in 2000. If I had the option at 3 to buy some property, I would have. In the same way that if I had the option at 14 to buy some Bitcoin at reasonable quantities, yeah, I would have. Unfortunately, I was like 14. I had no money. Although again, it's always the hindsight thing, but I do remember looking at Bitcoin at £8 and thinking, maybe I should buy one. Ah well. I mean, to be clear, that's not a recommendation to buy or invest in Bitcoin. If you've watched the Folding Ideas video about NFTs and crypto in general, you will understand the problem with the cryptocurrency in general. But the long and short of it is that it's a bigger false scam. To you essentially have to imagine an endless chain of bigger fools willing to pay more and more and more to get for you to get your returns, and then someone else has to be able to pay more to get those returns. Yeah, especially for worthless assets like it. Bitcoin is not inherently valuable in any way. It's only valuable because people keep buying it and selling it, right? Whereas, in theory anyway, things like stocks, which is the analogous translation to more standard, what do you call it? Financial products. You're at least buying a share in that underlying company, and you can get dividends from that, and sort of gain wealth just from the dividends. And obviously you're buying a share in the company, as it were, so there is a tangible worth behind it. Indeedish. I was 30 and damn it, I should have listened to my mate about buying Bitcoin. He bought thousands of them when they came out and still has quite a few. That's the whole thing with, like, well, kind of all growth markets, or inflationary markets, is that buying in early is the only way that you make any money. Yeah, that's gambling. Yes, I think I saw a funny stat that, like, you're more likely to win money, like just actually gambling than you are on the stock market. Or at least when you start to get into like calls and puts and all that jazz, rather than just like buying a stock, holding it, and selling it at a higher price. HMB, unlucky, unlucky. I got 170 euros with Nvidia stock a couple weeks ago. Nice. Do you know about programming? Yeah, sure. I wrote all the code for the open source response time tool, the open source latency testing tool. I wrote a lot of the code for locally links and the response-times.net website that we still haven't actually launched. So yeah, I know a bit of JavaScript and TypeScript. I have technically made some things with PHP. I know C# fairly well. I know a bit of C++ and C. And I've never touched Ruby or Rust in my life. Or Go, for that matter. So how can I help? Also, just to clarify, these streams are normally about an hour, and we're coming up on that hour, and I'm not well, so you might want to be quick. I've been trying to debug in 2 different programming softwares, and they don't debug. Gonna need a bit more information on that. Hello, Luca. How you doing, man? How's things? If you really want to keep your money safe in the future, invest in Freddos. The inflation of those are nuts. 10p, 65 net p now. Who knows in 30 years? The Freddo inflation tracker is one to keep an eye on. Okay, in case we don't get a usable answer on the stream in the next 30 seconds or so, feel free to hop on our Discord and ask there. I'm sure that one of the fine people in the chat can link the Discord for you. It should be in the description of this stream as well. Yeah. No worries, Agent B. Glad to have you in any capacity. On code blocks. Oh god, I've not used that. There's some code written and code doesn't run and debug, so I pretty much can't learn programming. Visual Studio doesn't work. So generally speaking, you'll have error codes, error messages that can help you understand what's going wrong. Feel free to jump to the Discord and ask in the tech support channel, and maybe we can help there. Yeah, I think I will. I'm gonna have to leave it there. I'm not well. So yeah, I will endeavor to keep you updated. You know, on my status. But otherwise, yeah. I hope y'all have a good week. Come back next week to see if I'm still here. What a cliffhanger. Yeah. Have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you all hopefully next week.